Hello guys, Moonman here, and today I'm in Niagara Falls, New York, and we're going to be checking out the Wax Museum here in Niagara Falls. So I don't even know what to expect, so let's go discover it together. Let's do it. Go ahead and start this Wax Museum journey here. Oh my god. Alright, let's do it. This is Father Louis Hennepin, the first white man to view the falls. So I guess this Wax Museum is kind of historical. Pretty cool. And obviously the whole United States as a whole had a big Native American heritage and stronghold for a long time, and actually right now we're actually in the Seneca Nation, so that's pretty interesting. But this is a replica of the Indian Longhouse. It actually says that 85-year-old Chief Tom Reed of the Tuscarora Indians, well, Native Americans, actually built this and put it in this museum. That's pretty interesting. Rene de La Salle explored Niagara frontier 1679. I don't think that's him. Just shows the British, natives, and French, and how they all influenced the history of the Niagara frontier. Pretty interesting. Different tribes in the Iroquois Confederacy. As like I said, we are in the Seneca, or we were at least in the Seneca reservation yesterday. But different words for different animals, and Mawara being the turtle. This is a portrait of Chief Red Jacket. His native name was Saogeye, which means he who keeps them awake. Pretty cool. Along with some artifacts and effigies that they had at the day. Snow snake. These poor guys are supposed to be for the Devil's Hole Massacre, which is basically a native revolt kind of against the white settlers who were trying to take over, and they threw them in the Devil Hole. It's considered to be like the first labor strike in North America. Was John Clare. He owned the sawmill, which was the first use of water power in Niagara, which they still do today. This Wax Museum actually has actual water running through it. Okay, this is the next exhibit from Fort Niagara. Today is coincidentally the 4th of July when I filmed this. Fort Niagara changed hands a few times in history, and it still exists today. Pretty cool. In Fort Niagara, when the French owned it, the French officers were required the enlisted man to sleep on like these beds made of hard pine that were straight, because they said it made straight spines made for a soldiery appearance. Not look that comfortable to me. It is kind of warm in there. Here's a little rendering of a blacksmith. Pretty cool. This well is known as the Haunted Well. It used to be in old Fort Niagara, or at least once soon. I don't think this is the original one, but it's called the Haunted Well because there was an argument at one point. One of the officers cut off the head of another and threw it down the well, and they said that at 1 minute past the stroke of 12, the ghost comes out and haunts the fort. And this was during the French occupancy. This section is the fire hall. Picture of Marilyn Monroe next to here at Niagara Falls. And there is a Sal the Barber Magley, the Brooklyn Dodgers autographed that. He was from Niagara Falls. I don't know where Mother Teresa's at. Princess Diana, which actually looks pretty good, not gonna lie, it looks pretty authentic. Is just sitting right next to Julia Roberts. It's kind of a weird pairing, but I can dig it. This is about an exhibit based on hydrogeneration of electricity. I think some of the things that were originally exhibited have been taken out and they're replacing it, because Mother Teresa is not really there, and they have a sign for her down there. And this is not anywhere to be found, whatever this is supposed to mean. And this is George Washington giving a medal to Chief Red Jacket. And there is a replica, a very large replica, blown up of the medal he would have gave. Well, of him giving the medal. So, Honest Abe there. So, and that picture of Marilyn Monroe I showed you earlier, was taken while she was filming the movie Niagara. Here's an old poster of someone had made whenever they were going to tightrope walk across the Niagara Gorge. So Abe Lincoln did come to Niagara Falls, and he actually had his tonsorial work done while he was here. And this is the actual chair he had sat in. It's a very weird angle, but if you look, there he is right there. And a shave at that time was just 15 cents. Pretty cool. No sundry store. They're called apple dolls, and they're a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie, but also really cool. Section here of a giant redwood tree, and it was estimated to be about 960 years old. And by looking at the rings here, this tree was born about 1002. Through the War of 1812 there, Civil War, the Revolutionary War, 2 men rescued from scow in Upper Niagara River, Anna Taylor, and the 1912 Ice Bridge tragedy. Lived through a lot of things. It did. It's like a piece of the type of tire they would use on the heavy-duty equipment when they were doing the power project. And one of these like full tires cost almost $6,200, which back then was worth, now is worth a lot, and back then it's worth even more. Replica of the boat, the Aberdeen. It's pretty cool. It's titled Made to the Mist, pardon the glare, but you can see it's lots of boats going around the falls. Today, still today, the boat rides you can take tours here in the United States side are called Made of the Mist. There's lots of different minerals and rocks found in this area. See, Niagara Falls is essentially water flowing from Lake Erie down Niagara Falls into Lake Ontario. Now this young man, Roger Woodard, actually fell over the falls 161 feet when he was 7 years old. He was saved with this life ring, actually. And he actually returned years later. He revisited it for a little bit of TV. Here's Mark Twain. He actually, being famous as he is, he actually did later in his career in life, he was the editor of the Buffalo Express, and he would visit Niagara Falls. Pretty interesting. First television screen in Niagara Falls. Right there. The Pictorial Hall of Presidents. And it starts George Washington, obviously, and goes all the way up to where we are now. There's Millard Fillmore. He is buried in Buffalo, which is just basically about 30 minutes from here. So he is pretty known in the area. A wall of all the license plates from all the states. And here's the only president from my home state. And it actually ends at Donald Trump. It doesn't end at Joe Biden, but I do see has the year that Trump went out of office, so maybe it's going to be whenever Biden's out of office, he'll be in here. So we'll see. I'll pull up other things. I'm sorry, the line is busy. An old diorama. And there we are, right there. And this is a clever way. They're working on this new exhibit, but they got a wax guy in here. I think that's pretty clever. Albert Edison working on the theory of transmitting electricity from Niagara Falls. Pretty cool. This is the replica of the ball Jean Lucier went over the falls in. Pretty cool, and it did survive, so nice. And Lucier is actually on this exact day, but in 1928, so 95 years ago to the day he went over this. And he was actually French Canadian, so that's pretty cool. Here's a list of all the ones who went over the falls, and 9 out of the 12 have survived. From 1901 to 1989, they went over the falls. 12 people did. In a daredevil stunt, not by accident. This is purposely going over the falls. And I guess no one's done it since 89. I don't even know if they allow it, but it'd be cool if they did. I see the original Maid of the Mist ship, it burned in 1955. But there's the bell for it and the wheel that was on there. And a Taylor over the falls in the barrel. And Bobby Leach, this is his barrel. Completely two totally different style barrels. Interesting. 1982, Joe Megan, he skied down the falls. That is absolutely insane. Here is a replica here of Anna Taylor after she got out of her barrel. She was injured, but she didn't pass away from the attempt. So, the legend of the Maid of the Mist is that in the early days that the land was occupied by Native Americans, they actually would send sacrifices over the falls once a year. And it would always lead to the people's death, and it would always be the fairest lady. Well, one year a chief, her name was, he had a daughter, and her name was Layla Walla, and she was chosen as a sacrifice, but he wouldn't let her go by herself, so he was in a canoe behind her, and they both fell to their death. In this, they used the tale that the roar of the falls is caused by Chief Eagle Eye moaning for the loss of his daughter. They used to project colors into the fall with the light like this. You see, he's being rescued by this boat. It's a replica from an actual rescue thing that happened in the year 1918. Apparently, the falls, at the rate that they're eroding it, will take about 24,000 years, and the falls will be gone. It's crazy. You better see it within the next 24,000 years. All right, it looks like a nice photo op opportunity. Let's see how it goes. Let's do it. All right, that was it, guys, here in Niagara Falls, New York at the Wax Museum. Hope you guys liked it, because I sure did. So please like, subscribe, and share. Moon Man, out.